want to talk about mindset stuff. Been on a big mindset kick for probably the last couple of weeks now. And it's because there's specific conversations that are coming up, specific words that people are using. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong, but I definitely think that these are some things that I didn't know this stuff until somebody told me, I suppose. So I'm going to start this call. I'm just going to hit you with a bunch of quotes, and then I want to talk about some of them and explain some of them and how to use some of this stuff. Number one, the most expensive thing on this planet is a closed mind. Effort that you are taking usually will go unnoticed until you win. This is especially relevant with college students. Everything that they're doing, nobody is saying, oh, you're a successful college grad. You're doing so good. You're successful until after they graduate. That's when everybody shakes their hand and says, oh, you are a successful college graduate, which is crazy because they were successful by signing up for school, by waking up early, going to class, by not going to the party instead of studying. So something interesting there. Your brain is not meant to make you happy. It is meant specifically to make you survive. It's not meant to make you happy, okay? If you do not track something, you do not care as much as you think. The same way, if you're trying to lose weight and you don't get on a scale, are you really trying to lose weight? A more, I guess, like a personal example with myself, trading a bunch of crypto, I wasn't tracking it. I just kind of fell out and I was up, and I come back and I look and everything's off. Everything's like all over the place. Things are crazy. And it's because I wasn't tracking it. So now I have a whole knot of issues that I got to figure out. Every single level of success, every single one is going to require a different version of yourself, a completely different version of ourselves. Now, knowing that change is really scary, and usually people kind of tend to get away from change. It's no wonder why a lot of people are not getting to those different levels of success. Your mind is the worst master, but it's the best slave. And what I mean by that is if you do not control your mind, it will control you. And knowing that your brain is not meant to make you happy, but it's meant to make you survive, and that your brain is the greatest detector in the world, but it's constantly looking for all the red flags. How is this going to hurt me? Where is this going to mess up? It's looking for ways that you're going to get hurt because it's designed to make you survive. So it's going to try to, like, just by default, why should I not do this? Why should I not do this? How is this going to mess me up? How is this going to hurt me? Okay, I'm not going to do any of it. And then you don't fail, which hurts. So it's helping you survive, but it is literally actively working against you unless you are actively working against it. One of my big mindset coaches, he was a drill sergeant or a drill instructor in the Marines, I don't know, for like 15 years or something. And he told me, I'll never forget it. I don't know why, but it's so simple. You have to have a full out assault team working on your mindset 24/7. I don't know why, but when I heard it in terms like that, it just clicked for me. If you are not specific about what you want in life, then the universe will not know what opportunities to give you. Now, this is something that I want to get a little bit deeper into, specifically visualization. So this is like some hippie woo-woo stuff. If you're not into it, no worries. Like I said, like we started this call, the most expensive thing in this world is a closed mind. So if you're not into it, you don't know how to do it, you're just like, well, whatever. I hear you. Just offering a different perspective, I suppose, because visualization has absolutely changed my entire life and so many people that I know about, that I actually know them. So we'll get into that a little bit. Things are not good, bad, right, or wrong. They just are. If your car breaks down, it's not good, it's not bad, it's not right, it's wrong. It's just something that happened. How you perceive that situation. So like your state of mind. And we know you can change your state of mind basically at will if you actually want to. Based on your state of mind, that is going to be how you perceive the situation. Man, what's a good example? But yeah, things are not good, bad, right, or wrong. They just are. With a long enough time horizon, things change. Maybe you get fired from your job and that looks bad. You perceive that as bad. 5 years later, because you got fired, now you like won the lottery or something, or you've got a multi 8, 9, 10 figure business. Now looking back, that was good. So with a long enough time horizon, you just zoom out, things change all the time. So we cannot, I mean, it's a fundamental nature of humans to be like emotional, but we need to be aware that a lot of times those things can work against us. And we really got to try to stay neutral through everything. Something bad happens, put it in the bad folder, keep rocking. Something good happens, put it in the good folder and keep going. Nothing is stopping your train. Your body does not know the difference between fear and excitement, but how you perceive the situation will dictate the emotions that you're feeling. Prime example, you're going down a roller coaster, or maybe better, you're going up the roller coaster and you feel, got butterflies in my stomach, sweaty hands, it's kind of hard to breathe, get a little tightness in my chest, like, oh my God, we're gonna hit this hill. I get the same thing when I go on stage, the exact same thing. But when I'm on stage, it's coming out, it's manifesting as fear. But when I'm at like a theme park, it's manifesting as excitement. The only difference is how I am perceiving that situation. There's been many times where I get on stage, there's, a couple hundred people in the crowd, we're like pitching something, whatever, and I forget everything, forget all my lines. Sketchy situation. Definitely a fear invoking situation. But if I just do a reshift, a mental reframe in the moment, specifically looking at the situation, I'm on stage, I got all these eyes looking at me, my partner's looking at me, the people putting on the event are looking at me like, what is this guy doing? What do we make a mistake with the fruit? My perception by default would be, oh my God, I'm messing up. Everybody's looking at me. This looks dumb. How I would try to reframe that in the moment, and I'm just like, just thinking off the top of my head, how I would try to reframe that in the moment is, oh my God, this is amazing that like I get to be in a situation that not many people, like most people aren't going to sign up to go talk in front of a couple hundred people. And then most people aren't going to sign up to go talk in front of a couple hundred people, forget all their lines, and then decide to stay there. You could say this, I don't know if the word is a masochist, like I just like punishing myself. I can't think of the word, but I chose to stay there because it was I felt exhilarated. At first, it was like, oh my God, like I look so stupid. And then it was like, just, all right. Because I just started laughing almost. It was funny. It's like, oh my God, like I don't even know what to say, but here I am in front of all these people, like this, in a weird perspective. This is actually amazing. This is amazing. I don't think I'll ever be in front of a couple hundred people completely silent, have no idea what I'm talking about, and forget everything. So I'm gonna soak it in. I'm gonna absorb all that. And if that is the worst thing, this is a line I use all the time. I use this all the time. I recommend you do too. If that's the worst thing that happened that day, that week, that month, that year, it's still going to be a phenomenal day, a phenomenal week, a phenomenal year. Now, that particular situation literally happened. I forgot my lines. I had my note cards like in my back pocket. And so like I went into my back pockets, pulled these note cards, dropped them all over the floor. I just looked like a fool, man. Thankfully, my partner like just kicked into gear and started talking again. And then I got back on track. And it's like, cool, awesome. Let's keep going. Now, the interesting part is the people that came up to us to talk, like after our presentation, they were like, dude, I can't believe you stayed there. Like, that was like a lot of kudos to you, man. That was pretty cool. And then we started talking about our presentation. So not a single person came up and was like, dude, that was embarrassing. I can't believe you did that. So now, the next time I'm in that situation, because I've already been through it, my mind and body took a snapshot. This is what happens when you're in situations that are, man, what are they called? Like trauma stuff. That is a traumatic situation to the mindset. So I'm in it. My mind and body are taking a snapshot of it. And now my mind is like, okay, we have this snapshot. Let's apply it to all the other snapshots we have in Joe's past. And let's see, do we have a snapshot that's similar to that? If we do, pull up those emotions and actions because now that is how Joe's going to respond. So I did have snapshots back like when I was in, I don't know, sixth or seventh grade. I'm doing like a science fair presentation, forget all my lines. Crazy, super scared, nervous, shaking, can't breathe. My face turns red. I'm looking at the teacher like, dude, I don't know where I'm at. I'm completely stuck and lost. And like I had to, like, all right, well, let's try it again. We'll go on to the next person. It was super embarrassing. That was the snapshot that was pulled up in that moment when I'm on stage. So that's why I started feeling, I could feel my face get red and everything. And then I just had the thought, like, this is actually kind of cool, like in a weird way. Like if I have to find the good, where is it? Like, yeah, I can sit in the bad. This sucks. I'm embarrassed, sweaty hands, flushed face. Like, yeah, I can. If I got two cups of water and one of them, if I drink it, I'm embarrassed. And the other, if I drink it, I'm excited. And I can simply choose. Which one would you choose? I would choose, I'm excited. So I took that. I drank that glass of water. And oh my God, I'm excited. I got through the speech. My mind and body took another snapshot. And now that snapshot is replacing the other ones. So now next time I'm in a situation where if I forget all my lines, that other snapshot is going to come up and I guarantee I will it's probably happen on coaching calls like this. I'll probably just kind of like, wow, this feels familiar. Like, okay, deep breath. All right, let's just be in the moment. It's exhilarating. It is kind of trippy. It's happened on sales calls where I'm on the call, and like, I've got my frameworks here. I'm going through like a script or something. And like, I asked them a question like, oh, so, how much, like, where are you trying to get your business to? And they say something like $300 million a year. And I'm like, oh, wasn't expecting that. I don't know really how I can help. It was a super strange call, but it ended up being awesome. I mean, like I still talk to that guy. It was like it was my very first sales discovery call, but it was actually a good call. So anyway, your body doesn't know the difference between fear and excitement. It is almost always your perception of the situation that will dictate what emotions bubble up. So keep it in mind because like I said, Nobody's going to judge you for what happens to you. That's no big deal. Like you get on 10 sales calls and they all tell you to F off or something and you feel bad. Nobody's going to judge you for feeling bad because it's not good, bad, right, or wrong. Who cares? Nobody cares. But how do we reframe that? How, I mean, you can feel bad. Sure, you're fine. Nobody's going to blame you. You can reframe that and on purpose try to find the positive. Why would you not? I would so much rather be optimistic than pessimistic if I had the option. If I have the option, I can, if a situation unravels in front of me and I have the option, I can be mad, I can not be mad. And it's as simple as that. I can literally just choose. And then I will just naturally feel those feelings. No work involved. Which one would you choose? Every single time I will choose the not mad. It doesn't matter the situation. If my mom died in front of me and I had the option to feel bad or feel good, I don't want to feel bad in any situation because it doesn't feel good. I don't care what happened. I don't want to feel bad. So I would choose to feel good. I would try to find the silver lining, find the positives. What can I learn out of the situation? And we know this all the time. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Opportunities want you to find them, but you got to be in the right headspace to see them for what they are and then have the balls to take advantage of those opportunities because it's very scary stuff. An example for me, some of you guys probably know my story. I went to a wedding in Mexico. While I was out there, COVID hit and I got fired and I had come back to Chicago, but I didn't live in Chicago at the time. So I kind of got quarantined here. I got tired of like watching documentaries and just drinking a bunch of beer and stuff. And I had the thought, okay, I can come out of this pandemic with a skill. I can risk it. I can roll the dice on myself and I can just figure the fruit out, or I can spend all my money on my debt and I can come out of COVID zero debt, neutral, but no skills. So I'm starting at neutral, but I got to go back to what I was doing before. So that didn't sit well with me. That didn't make sense. I was a bartender. I knew not going back to bartending. Never been back since. Anyway, so I rolled the dice on myself. I hit up two different mentors that I looked up to. One of them entertained me. I got on calls with the sales guy and they threw me a price. I didn't have the money. They said, hey, let's get you into some creative financial options here. So I looked at a payment plan. My credit was too low and I didn't have enough cash. So like that didn't work. And I think that was like a hard credit hit or something. So it hit my credit even harder. So now I don't have any money and I have even worse credit. The other coach hit me up and said, hey man, I hear you. I have exactly what you need. You need clarity and accountability. Awesome. I got that. This is what it's going to take. And just the stars aligned. I just happened to have that. And that just so happened to be, I gave that dude all my money. I think I had like $154 left in my bank account with no income coming in. I think I was on unemployment at the time too. So I think I was making, I don't know, like $200 every 2 weeks or something. So this was arguably one of the scariest times of my life, but I know every single level of success is going to require a different version of me. And at the time, I struggled making difficult decisions. That was a difficult decision. Do I give this dude all my money and risk it and roll the dice? Would I bet on myself? I did. Thank God it paid off. But I gave that dude all my money. There was no lines, or not lines. There was no nets. There was nothing I could kind of like crawl back out of. So that was a situation that like that first payment, it's like, all right, rolling the dice, exhilarating. Like, here we go. We're learning a new skill and there's no other option. It's not like, oh my God, I don't think this works. It's, I'm going to make this work because I've seen this guy do it and that 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 guy do it. And I know that there's nothing different between me and them. Maybe they just know a little bit more than I do. And that's just knowledge. Cool. I can learn that. I'm going to get that from my new mentor and coach. And I got that and I did it. And cool. Here we are now. I rolled the dice on myself because every level of success can take a different version of you. And it's very scary. It is very, very scary. But the same way that your body is in some way can be kind of a traumatic situation. So your body's going to take the snapshot and then it's going to do it again. So like anytime you're coming up against something fearful, like you're going to get on a call, you're a little nervous, or somebody left you a voicemail, you got to call them back or something. I would just try on purpose specifically to find what could I learn from this? If I have the option, I could be mad, I could be scared, fearful, or I could be excited and curious. Which one am I going to choose? I'm going to choose excited and curious. If I'm fearful, maybe it's because I'm going into a new situation. Never been here before. Never learned this skill. Never had these conversations. I'm not fearful. I'm excited because I've never been here before. I've never had these conversations. This is amazing. I get to learn all this new stuff. And I get to fail in front of my peers, people that I'm paying to teach me to be better. So I get to mess up in front of them. They get to see what I did and my results, and they're going to course correct me. This is like a prime situation for Joe. Perfect. Your body doesn't know the difference between fear and excitement. Your reality is shaped by the tendency of your thoughts, not necessarily the magnitude, but the tendency. This is why we hear it all the time. Super successful people, they'll tell you, like, write down your goals on a piece of paper, put it in your wallet, and look at it all the time. Once, two, three times a day, look at it all the time. It is the tendency of your thoughts. So if you tend to lean towards the pessimistic side, see, I told you this didn't work. Oh, I have this call scheduled, but they're probably not going to show up. That's likely what's going to happen because those are the tendencies. It's the tendency of your thoughts. If you think of like your reality as like a computer screen, or no, I think a better example is like a film, almost like a photography plate. Remember back in the day, take a picture and it's like, you have like a roll of film and then you got to wind it up to get to like a next section of the film to take another picture. That's kind of like reality. Like if you can take a picture, you can visualize. So that's step one. But imagine if like you take a picture of something and then you don't spin it, you take another picture, you don't spin it, you take another picture, you don't spin it. Then your reality is like all of these different things placed on top of each other. It's chaotic, it's confusing. There's a lot of stuff going on. We don't necessarily want that. Not a bad thing, not a good thing, not right or wrong, but your reality is shaped by the tendency. So if you tend to lean towards the optimistic side, oh, I'm gonna get this deal. Oh, I'm gonna close this guy. Oh, next week I'll have 10 book call. I don't know how. I just know it's gonna happen. I'm going to make this. This is going to happen. I'm going to get this skill. It's only going to take me this amount of time. Optimism towards those goals. And then obviously, well, maybe it's not obvious, but you have to believe as if you've already received. So it's not like I'm going to be a millionaire and these are the steps I got to take to get there. It is, I am a millionaire. You are currently right now. And this conversation is you on your path to that version. Everything you're doing, like you are a millionaire right now, the same way that you're like a successful college graduate right now, but the world doesn't recognize it until you take the test or until you actually get the 7 figures in your bank account. Then they say those things. So that's why I was saying that right when we first started, effort usually goes unnoticed until you win. So we see a lot of these overnight successes, and they're the first ones to tell you, guys, this was an overnight success. I've been beating my head against this content wall for 10 years. It's the tendency. Now, when you're practicing new skills, it's really, really easy to get overwhelmed, stuck, lost, confused. And then it's a slippery slope. You start to have those thoughts like, see, I told you this wasn't going to work because your mind is actively working against you. And you have a view of how the world works. And your mind is trying to fit all these pieces together. It's constantly trying to predict things. So that's why I like fear of the unknowns, because your brain can't predict it. You've never been in that situation. Your brain is like going haywire. It doesn't even know what to do. You're on like full high alert. It is when you're practicing new skills and you're messing up or you're not hitting the goal. If you wanted to post 3 times a week, but you only posted 1 time a week, we need to look at the positives. What's the benefit? Yes, you could focus on the negatives. You could. Nobody would blame you. That's fine. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong. You could do that. You can focus on all the bad things. Why none of everything that you're doing is working. Why your business is failing. Why the people that you're on the phone with aren't qualified. You can come up with all of those reasons, and they are just as realistic as the optimistic side of that. So when you're failing in your skills, it's not like, oh man, I meant to post 3 times, but I only posted 1 time, because it's not the direction so much. No. It is the direction. It's not the magnitude. So if you wanted to post 3 times a week, but you only posted once, you're going in the right direction. That's a success. That's a win. What's the positive out of that? I posted once. Woo! Awesome. Goal achieved. At the same time, nobody would blame you for like, man, see, I suck. I'm just terrible. I'm never going to post again. I'm never going to try this again. They're the same. The beauty of this life is you get to choose which thought process, which perspective do you want to entertain. I would lean towards the optimistic side. We already said this one, ask believing as if you have already received. Now, this one is really important because you need to be very specific about what you want in life. So this is why I don't think actually we're going to have this by the end of the week, because I think it's extremely important. We used to have this process where you would map out your dream life. What is everything that you want in life? When you wake up, it's the best day of your life. What are the things in your life? For me, I want a house like on every continent. I want one of those like hydraulic driveways where I can put like my Paganis and my 488 Ferraris underground, but maybe like my GTR, like just parked in the driveway or something. I want to pull the Ferrari out. My driver like lifts up. I want a private chef. I want a private tutor. I don't want a jet. I do want like a yacht. I want all these supercars. I want all this crazy stuff. I want all that stuff. It's in my mind. It's not real. It's not physical yet. because I thought it, I can absolutely get that. I'm on my path to getting that simply because I thought everything around you started in somebody's head. Every single thing, the Zoom account, this computer, this camera, somebody had to think about it and then take actions to make it happen. So think about your goals and be very, 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 very specific. And then you can't change them. The reason why you got to be specific is because when you take a picture, you have something specific in front of you. And if you don't roll that film up to go to the next slide and you take another picture, now your first image is not specific. It's muddled. There's two images on top of each other. So it's like if you tell, like when you're a little kid, you tell your mom, hey, I want this action figure for Christmas. And then the next day you're like, hey mom, I don't want that. I actually want this car. And then the next day you're like, I don't even want that. I actually want this like pony. Actually, no, I don't want that. I want this. Then Christmas comes and you don't really have anything because you're constantly changing your mind. Your mom's just like, I don't even know what to like. Oh, let's go to the store now. I'll buy you whatever you want. That's what happens with the world, with the universe. If you're not specific about what you want, the universe won't know what opportunities to give you. If I was not specific that I want to be a millionaire, then I would not be put in situations where I have to take sales calls or I have to call somebody back, or I'm in positions where I'm on stage and in a world where I'm super fearful, doesn't matter why, but that's an opportunity. How can I take what's happening to me and make the best out of it? Knowing, yeah, I could make this the worst, like, oh, this is horrible, so embarrassing, I'm never going to get on stage and speak ever again. Or, oh my God, I went through the worst thing possible, it's probably never going to happen again, and I'm still alive. So there's only two things that happen when you're afraid. Either you die, you're dead, done. You don't exist in this world. You died, or you've learned something. I think it's unlikely that you'll die, though, at least in 2024. So I think it's more, I mean, don't go, walking down any dark alleys or anything, but consider when you're in a situation of fear, are you afraid? Like, are you really? Do you want to be? If you don't want to be, why are you? I don't know. Maybe you're not in control. Maybe your mind is in control. So it's like, it's the same thing with thoughts. Like, I don't want to have the thought that like, I'm just a fat loser that doesn't do anything. So where did it come from? I don't know. I don't really care though. I'm not going to ruminate. Just let it go by. Thoughts happen, whatever. They don't need to define you. You get to choose the ones that you focus on, choose the ones that you ruminate on. So ask as if you should already believe, like ask as if you already have it. Like, I know my Ferrari. I'm going to get it. It's 48 Ferrari. I know it's probably like in one of a shipping container coming overseas right now. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's one of those ships that got like stuck or something or hacked or something. I don't know. I don't know. But I know that even being on this call, all the actions that I'm taking today are progressing me towards that. I feel it in my mind, my head, everything. I am a millionaire. This is what they do. I'm just going through those actions now. And at some point, all the work that I've done will culminate to a point, and then boom, there you go. Goals, and everybody's, oh, overnight success. It just doesn't happen that way. So another example is like, well, I mean, I suppose like part of like believe, figure out what you want, write it down. Now, this is another part of like, you're mapping out your dream life. Figure out what you want, write it all down, every single thing, and then research it. The whole point of researching it is to get intimate and put your mind in it. You already have it. You want that car? What kind of steering wheel are you going to get? Are you going to get leather? Or are you going to get like a two-tone color? Like, what is it? Be specific, very specific. Most people are not. And we see this in messaging. We see this on sales calls. We see it all over the place. People typically don't want to be specific because it's when you're specific, you're planting your flag and nobody wants to be judged. That's a total different conversation. But anyway, ask as if you ask, believing you've already got it. I think Santa Claus is a really good example. Little kids, they're going to write a letter to Santa. Their parents told them, hey man, there's this crazy magical guy in the sky. And if you're a good dude, and you write down, like, what do you want for Christmas? Just write it down. Be specific. It's kind of interesting, right? Specifically, what do you want? It's not, I want a Game Boy game. It's, I want this specific Pokemon Gold Game Boy game, whatever. I write that down on my list. Very specific. Then I take actions to send it off to Santa. Now, every day, because my parents told me this is real, every day I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get this Pokemon game. And it's only going to take me like, what do I got to wait? Like another 20 days or something? Oh my God. Like, I can't believe it. I am so excited. This is amazing. These days can't go by fast enough. And then I see, whoop, there's something under the tree. Maybe it's like a little thing, not the same size as Game Boy game or something, but there's something. So now in my mind, I'm like, whoa, my parents told me this is real. They said if I do this, then something will happen like, in a month or something. Okay, I did that, and now I'm seeing evidence. Like there's stuff coming up under the that's I don't even know what to think. Oh my God. Okay, I have to be good because like I want to get that game, so I need to do all this stuff every single day. I'm getting reinforced with the belief that I'm going to get exactly what I want. And I'm going to get exactly what I want because I was very specific. And then I just believed it every single day. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And I'm not having the thought like, oh, was I bad today? Like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know. It's not doubt. You don't want to doubt is what messes things up. I think another example is if you buy a pack tomato seeds and you don't need to send those seeds off to some testing facility to know that they are tomato seeds. You just have to plant them and then water it. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Just plant them, water it. That's it. Nothing else. You don't have to think like, oh my God, are they gonna grow? You don't have to like do anything else. Just plant them, water them, and you know that they will grow. You don't even have to like convince yourself. It's not even like faith, belief. I just know that like when I press this button, I know that the light is going to turn on. You don't have to convince me of that. The same way that if you've never been bitten by a poison snake, you know that there are snakes that are poisonous. Somebody told you, and you're just like, for whatever reason, you had enough belief, enough situations that popped up in your life that reinforced that, but you've never been bitten by a snake. So are they really poison? Like, do you actually know? I don't know. So with the Santa situation, it's like you just like whatever it is that you want, you have it. Now you just got to take actions to catch up to that version of yourself. That's why I know my Ferrari, it's in transit. I know that. I don't have to have the conversation or entertain the thought like, well, is it really? Like, let's look at the logistics and blah, 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 blah. That is what messes things up. So back to the doubt, you plant your tomato seeds and then you think, oh, dude, are those actually tomato seeds? I don't know. Let me dig them up and check. Oh, they are tomato seeds. I see the root. Okay, cool. Let me plant them again. A month later, like, I've been watering it a lot, but like nothing's really happening. So let me check again, dig it up and check again. And it's like, how many times are you going to keep digging this up? You're not giving it enough time to manifest, to grow, to become the thing. Ask, believing you have already received. And then my favorite one, I got one more. As a man thinketh, so is he. This is very, very true. If you think that you are introspective and a quiet and shy person, you will naturally act that out. Not good, bad, right, or wrong, but you can choose. You can decide to be that. You can decide to not be that. If you think that you are not going to hit seven figures, if you think that those guys are doing something that you're not, if you think that there's some secret out there that you're just haven't come across, that you're just missing, that is what it's going to be. And you will constantly be searching for that over and 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 over. Seen it happen a million times. I'm sure you have too. You can like look at your buddies, past clients, family members. This stuff it's all around us. But I didn't know any of this stuff. Like I didn't see any of this stuff. I absolutely rewired my brain to simply look for the positives. And then just to really think like, I wonder why. Like if I step in a puddle and my whole shoe gets wet, I'm not like, man, now I gotta go do this. And like, oh, my shoe's wet, it's ruined. And now my socks, and I gotta go to this meeting. I could entertain that. It's not good, bad, right, wrong. I could do that. Nobody would judge me. It makes sense. It's logical. I choose to not. I could do that, but I'm not going. I could also do this. I'm looking for the positives. Like, why? What happened there? What could I learn? Maybe there's nothing to learn. Maybe it's just simply to be in that situation. Now you get to experience what your day is like with a wet shoe. And maybe next time the universe is going to say, all right, are you going to be able to make that meeting with, if you go like right now, the universe is saying, hey, are you going to make that meeting? Because you got a wet shoe. What are you going to do? Are you going to go home? You're going to quit? You're going to go the other way? Or are you just going to like make it happen? Okay, if you make it happen, now maybe the next one is like, all right, we're just going to turn your internet off. You're going to quit? You're going to stop? Because you don't have internet, what are you going to do? You're going to go this way? Or are you just going to figure it out? Go to the library, turn the hotspot on your phone, go to Starbucks, McDonald's, use the free internet there. Maybe the universe is going to fill your calendar with 1,000,000 calls. And out of nowhere, all of a sudden, you've got back-to-back calls every single day for 2 months in a row. Are you going to slow down? Are you going to stop things? Are you going to quit because you're too busy? Or are you just going to figure it out? Like, I'm busy. This is what I wanted. I'm going to make it work so that I can get more busy and handle it efficiently, effectively, and still be home in time for dinner. And in a situation where I'm not getting burned out. We see that all the time. Man, that is such a pet peeve of mine too. Somebody will they'll come to us and like, yeah, I'm not really busy. Then they start getting busy and like, hey, I need to slow things down. And it's like, dude, are you going to slow down every time you get busy? Because then we're not the ones for you. Just offering another perspective there. Now, this other one, this is my favorite by far. Oh, and it uses the photographer example. The substance with which you are mentally dealing is more sensitive than the most sensitive photographer's film. This is why, like, I've got sticky notes all over my computer. My mind is a center of divine operation. I will have a Ferrari 488, and I need to change that. I have a Ferrari 488. I need to believe that I have it now. I don't need to like open my door and like go look at it. I know that it's on its way. I have a Ferrari. I already have it. Same way that I don't need to know, hey, that snake is poisonous. I'm just not going to get bit by it. I don't need to entertain all those other thoughts. So the substance with which you are mentally dealing is more sensitive than the most sensitive photographer's film. And the reason why it's the most sensitive is because yes, you can meditate and you can sit in silence. You can do all and pray. Pray is a form of meditation or prayer, I guess, whatever side of the coin you're on. But it's very similar stuff. That's all. It's good. It's great. Highly recommend it. In fact, I want to say it's like required. You should do it. Completely changed my entire life. But the real work happens in the moment. It happens in the moment when your best client calls you and says, hey man, I hate everything about you. And like, this just sucks. And we're done. Click. Naturally, as a human, you'll feel something. But you can choose, what am I going to ruminate on? Which feelings do I want to lean into? And I really want to feel that. Which thoughts do I want to entertain? Could I just pull out a bottle and start drinking because like, oh, I hate my life and my best client just left me. See, I suck. I told you. Or where's the lesson? Where's the fine, not the fine line? Where's the silver lining? I don't know what it is. But that quest of searching for it, that'll do. Like if you're a pessimist right now, just searching for like, I wonder why that happened to me. Because this world happens for me. It's like things aren't like the world's not like, ah ha ha Joe, like I'm gonna make your shoe wet. But there's something there. I wonder what it is. I don't know. But the quest to understanding things, I would say there's a lot of, I don't know, triumphs and chivalry in the pursuit of understanding why certain things happen. And like I said, maybe you don't come to an answer. It's just a new perspective. Interesting. Now I get to go to that meeting with a wet foot. And we're just, what's that like? I've never done that before. What's it like? Oh, okay, not that bad. So if it happens again, no big deal. Whereas somebody else, maybe they get their foot wet and they're like, oh, I got to cancel this call. Like, hey, sorry, man. I stepped in a puddle. Like, I can't make it. And then maybe that deal's off the table. Maybe that was like a one-time thing. And because I chose to go down the pessimist process, lost the deal. Now that's because remember, like the substance with which we're dealing with is the most sensitive, like is more sensitive than the most sensitive photographer's film. That's setting a precedent. You're telling the universe, hey, when bad things happen to me, I'm gonna like get into my hole. When I get busy, I need to slow down. We don't want that. That's not where growth happens. Growth is that's, fear, tightness in your chest, your hands get clammy, your face flushes. I don't know about you. I was taught my whole life that's what fear is. Like that is the feeling, like the word fear. Now the feelings associated with it, sweaty, face flushed, clammy hands, can't breathe, tight chest, all that. That's what I was told. Same way I was told, oh, snakes are poison. Some snakes are poisonous. Some spiders are poisonous. That's what I was told. That's what I went with. Then I learned another perspective. And I just never heard this. So I never thought about it. I never entertained it. Maybe face flush, tight chest, clammy hands. Maybe that's what growth feels like. And then it would make sense. Whoa, growth is really uncomfortable. I really don't like it. Now, most people, when they feel things they don't like, they go the other way. And then it's like, whoa, most people aren't like, they're not really growing in whatever they're trying to do. Like, they don't have specific goals. And again, not good, bad, right, or wrong, no judgment. I'm not biased in any way, shape, or form. I was this exact person, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. But it's like, wow, that's interesting. All these things kind of come together. And so that's why I'm constantly preaching. Like, I would say the only reason why you will not ever hit 7 figures in your business, it's a mindset issue, 100% of the time, 100% of the time. So even like when we get client questions, and it's a question we've answered like a billion times in the past, I could get annoyed. Not good, bad, right, or wrong. People would, oh, Joe's answered that a million times. Like it makes sense. That person's not getting resourceful and figuring it out themselves. It would make sense that Joe's annoyed. I can choose that. I can drink the angry glass of water if I want. I could also see it as opportunities. Oh, perfect. You're asking this question, even though I've answered it a million times. I guess I just didn't answer it the right way because you're not understanding. It's not on you. It's no fault of you. Don't even know this stuff. I do. And I'm trying to explain it to you. I've explained it a million times. You didn't understand. Sweet. Now I get to find other ways to explain it. And if I can find a different way to explain that to you, then maybe it will make more sense to the next person that comes in. And then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. I'm human too. So, Things bother me. Just, I'm not perfect. Like it happens all the time. But the difference between the version of me now that, yeah, I get bothered, things happen, whatever, things pop up. The difference between me now and the version in the past that would entertain, like, oh, I'm just gonna be in a bad mood because this person like didn't do this. So like, you don't talk to me, you don't talk to me, and I'm mad, and like this is I flip my desk. Like that's how man, I kind of lost my train of thought there. I could do that though. I totally, totally could. And the version of me a couple of years ago probably would have. I don't know about flipping the desk, but I would have been mad longer. Now it's like, okay, I'm annoyed, but then like, why? Why are they asking this question? I've answered this a million times. Why? They're like, I mean, I don't think like most people are like dumb or anything. So I'm like, okay, well, he's not like they're not dumb. It's literally I just haven't explained it in a good enough way. So now I get the universe has shined a light on a hole for some of our clients. Now, because they brought it to me, I get the opportunity to see that and then try to fix it, which helps all of our clients and then the future clients as well. It's all perspective things, man. Oh man, I like my pipeline is super dry. It's not like, oh, well, I guess I got nothing to do. But it's like, ooh, okay, all right, now what? Now we're driving. Now here's the real test. You ever see that show? I don't know what channel it's on. I think Grant Cardone did it, but it's like we're going to take this guy, this millionaire, and put him in a town where nobody knows him and give him no money and then just see what he does. And you got 90 days to make seven figures. That's kind of cool. And if you have the confidence in yourself, you're a top dog at whatever you're doing, then why would you not be able to do that? Empty pipeline, who cares about that? That's a cool opportunity that you might never get again. If you do these processes and you do the same thing, your non-negotiables, and you start growing in that direction, you might not ever have an empty pipeline again. That's a much better problem to have, I would say. Absolutely. And empty pipeline is better than no pipeline. Even knowing the word, like what is a pipeline, that speaks to whatever industry knowledge you have and some sort of organization. Knowing what the word pipeline is and how it's used in a sentence, like with the correct context, you've been exposed to that. So you know the purpose of it. Pipeline, opportunity pipeline. Interesting stuff. Let me check, see if there's any questions here. No questions, no problem. So even that, like I'm thinking like, okay, and I'll just be raw here with you guys. My first thought, and I don't know who's on this call right now. My first thought, no questions. Okay, do I suck? Like, do people not really care about this? Am I explaining it like really, really well? And it's just like getting home? I don't know. I don't know. But I could entertain the thought like, wow, this is stupid and nobody cares. And that's why there's no questions. I could entertain the thought that they're just chilling. We're just sitting back and listening. It's like listening to a podcast. And I'm cool with that. That's totally fine. The more I talk about the stuff, the easier or the more I learn, the better, different ways I learn how to explain things. So even if I'm up here by myself for an hour, or well, I guess technically 2 hours every single week and nobody shows up, I'm seeing those opportunities as sweet. I've got a baked in time block, 2 hours a week, where I basically get to practice presentation. I see these as like little mini webinars. So it's like, wow, I've never like had the opportunity to have that huge volume of practice with not real any downside. Like if I mess up, if I say something dumb, or if I offend somebody, and if I do, let me know. It's never my intention. I always try to talk to people like you're my blood brothers and sisters, but I wouldn't even see that as a bad thing. Like nothing really bad happens. Nothing really, it's just something that happens. It's just something that happens. And it's like when good things happen, obviously, like you knew that was going to happen. Man, you knew that you're going to hit seven figures. You knew that. Like that's what you're here. You're doing that. Our purpose of any business is to make as much money as possible. There's nothing else. You're in this business to make as much money as possible. A lot of people like to hang their hat on like, well, I'm doing this to like help people. And that's cool. But if you don't make any money, then you can't help anybody. And when you make more money, then you can help more people. If you make more, you have more resources to help more. And then you can reach more and then you can change more lives. So the whole purpose, make as much money as possible. Man, there was something specific that I wanted to kind of tell you guys about. It was being raw and vulnerable. And oh, I think it was with the coaching calls here. Yeah, I guess I don't know. That's all I got for you guys today. If you like this stuff, like the mindset stuff, let me know inside the school group. It does help. I mean, I'm a human too, so like I can do all the mindset stuff, and I'll be fine. But a little sprinkle on top by seeing somebody else, like, wow, dude, I learned a little bit. Even if you learn, I've been on the call, I don't know what, 45 minutes or something. Even if you got no value, it's just like, hey, I appreciate, the presence, something like that. Those little things are pretty cool too. Oh, I remember what I wanted to tell you. I gotta think of how to word this because this is kind of weird. This is like bending space-time thought process where, okay, I was in a situation where I was feeling a lot of anxiety and worry and overwhelm and like, oh my God, like, what am I gonna do? Like, oh my God, like everything's gonna change. Like, what's going on? What do we do? And I'm feeling that. I was feeling that like a couple of days ago, literally. And Friday, literally last Friday, I was feeling like, God, dude, oh my God, like here we go. And I get on with my mindset coach and they're like, dude, okay, well, think of it like this. Tell me about something that you were worried about in the past. And I remember specifically, like I was joining like a baseball team or something, and I was worried that I was gonna suck and be like embarrassed, like in front of all these people. I don't know anybody on this team. It was like and I'm not good at baseball. So when I say like travel team, it was like I had to travel to the other town because the town I lived in didn't actually have a baseball team. So anyway, I was like really, really nervous, a lot of fear, worry, like, oh, dude, like I want to mess up. And that caused me to play bad because I was entertaining those thoughts. That's what happened. Kind of funny how that happens, right? Anyway, I was really worried, nervous, all this other, all these kind of negative emotions. And 6, 7 months later, I was good, dude. I could catch a ball. I could throw a ball. I could hit. That's it. That's all I needed to do. I think it was like 10 or something. So now looking back, it's like, man, there's no need for me to entertain the fear, the nervousness. But in that moment, when I was joining the team, if I held true to the thought that, oh, dude, in 6 months, I'm gonna be good. I won't even know why I was worried about it. Let me try to entertain that now, knowing I'm gonna start this right now. I'm a little worried and fearful, whatever. But I know in 6 months, I'm gonna be good. Like I'll be fine. I'll know these guys are gonna be my buddies. Like everything's gonna be cool, calm, collected. We're all good to go. Let me just pull those feelings to now. Let me just have the confidence in myself. Like I'm gonna be, I'm learning something new. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that. And then that would change how I would have acted in the moment. So when I'm talking with my mindset coach, and I'm telling him like, dude, oh my God, like all this crazy stuff. And he hit me with that. And then I thought in my mind's like, whoa, actually, if this happens, yeah, I mean, like, in a year of whatever, like, even if it's 10 years, like, I'll be fine. Like I know that I'll be fine. I'll bounce, like whatever has to happen will happen and I'll be good. What am I getting all upset about right now? Because that's going to affect how I interact, how I like do what I do. And if I'm full of anxiety and worry and fear, it's really likely I get stuck and stalled. And then I won't know like what am I supposed to be doing? And then all of a sudden I'm sitting here just staring at a wall, like, oh man, I don't even know what to do. Like I don't even know what to do. I'm so overwhelmed. Like, where do I start? And a lot of people, when they're in that situation, I've been there. A lot of people are like, I don't know where to start. Like, I'm not going to. I'm just going to wait until I talk to that person, whatever it is. I'm just not going to do it. Most people that's what they default to. Like, I'm just not going to do it. So I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting thought. Like, whatever you're doing right now, you know that if you keep doing it and you get better at it in could be 60 years, you know you're going to be a top dog. You're going to be fine. All good. No problems. So it's like, why am I feeling all this negativity right now? Let me just hold those future feelings and just be good, knowing the universe has my back. God, whatever side of the coin you're on, God, it knows what it's doing and it has my best interest at heart. So it's going to give me these opportunities so that I can be that next level of success or that version that gets the next level of success. Interesting. And then the thought, like, whoa, not many people know this stuff about mindset stuff. Like I didn't know that it's the tendency of my thoughts that will lead to the things that I want in my life. When I started doing that, I started getting that. Real quick example, and then I'll jump because I know we're already pushing like 50 minutes here. And I brought this up a couple of times, but this was like 6, 7 months ago. I just set the goal. I'm going to make 10 G's trading crypto. I don't know what, but that's my goal. That's my goal. And I'm sitting here, I'm meditating, I'm like visualizing it, like, okay, I'm gonna like click this button, I'm gonna go over here. I don't know what the button looks like, but I'm gonna click that button and then this is gonna happen. I'm gonna like, okay, and I'm gonna look at my wallet, I'm gonna visualize exactly like where the dollar amount is and where the actual like coin currency is, like what the pictures look like, everything. And every single night, I like before I go to like, how people are like, oh, just count sheep to fall asleep. My version is I imagine, I'm literally in my mind, like, I'm already like trying to go to sleep, but I'm imagining, I hold out my hand and somebody put a stack of 10 G's in my hand. And then they put another stack and then another stack and then another stack all the way up to 100 grand. And then I take all that and I put it in my pocket and then I hold out my hand again. And I do that until I fall asleep. And I try to visualize the cash flipping through it. I can hear it fluttering. I can smell it. I smell the ink on it. You know what? I'm ripping off that little yellow band because I don't need that. I'm going to throw this cash all over the place. I did that over and over and over and over and over. And then You have your beliefs and you have to take actions because a thought and a belief without action is completely meaningless. There's nothing to it. You may as well, like an idea without action is nothing. You may as well just not even tell anybody. Different conversation. Don't tell people your goals. There's a lot of science behind it. I'm visualizing and visualizing and visualizing. And I'm in the Discord channel. I'm talking to these guys over here. I don't know anything about Twitter, but oh my God, now I have a Twitter account? What? All right, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and all right, I'm researching this. I make this trade, I make this trade. Oh my God, there's 10 G's in my crypto account. Wow, exactly like I saw it. Exactly. That's pretty profound. And yeah, you can choose to believe, well, it's a coincidence. Of course, like things go up and down, like this happened and that happened. Like, of course, not good, bad, right, wrong. You could think that, totally fine. I choose to believe that this is a result of my proactive work of setting a goal, writing it down, visualizing it, the tendency, and being very specific, fluttering the cash. I'm trying to bring in other senses. I can hear the money flipping. I can hear it. I can feel it. I can smell it. I'm not like licking it. So I'm not, I can't taste it, I suppose. But I choose to believe that. And so I move forward with that in mind. So like I know, trained advisor, be an 8-figure company. Not a single doubt in my mind. When? Not sure. How? Not sure. Don't care. Not concerned with that. That's why they say got to be in love with the journey, because how you get to that goal is going to change all the time when you learn more things. And there's a lot of different paths to get there. You just got to find one that you like, but you can't be set on one path to get there because inevitably there's going to be breaking points. And maybe a combination of the breaking points, the people you're working with, your mindset, the state of your business, where is your life at, maybe that causes you to fall off and go a different direction or stop entirely. I actually could say this, and I only know of like 2 or 3 people that have left the financial industry, and I can absolutely say every single one of them left because they felt they couldn't survive. Oh, I wasn't booking call. Oh, I had a dry pipeline. Oh, I didn't know. Nobody was, people think I'm a scam. Oh, nobody's interested in life insurance. And like even that, nobody's interested in life insurance. Really? That's the thought that you want to entertain. You want to move forward in your business. Just nobody cares about life insurance. The other big one is my clients aren't on LinkedIn. Really? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You can think that and believe that, and so shall it be. Your clients, you won't find them. But I'd much rather be an optimist. There's a saying, it's called a self-fulfilling pessimistic prophecy. If you think you can't run a marathon, then you're not going to try to run a marathon. Then you didn't run a marathon, which means you're right. And it feels good to be right. And a lot of people get a big dopamine hit from talking about things. That's what stops them from taking action on those things. So, all right, I'll leave it at that. The big thing that I really want to get across is your mind is not designed to make you happy. It is designed to make you survive. And when people talk about that old programming, the old programming back in the day, our mind is made to survive. So we get fearful of that shaking bush because the lion might jump out and eat us and kill us. So we run away. Now it's not a shaking bush with a lion. It's making that post on LinkedIn. It's making 200 phone calls today. Whatever your lofty goal is, like, I don't know, could I do that? Instead of thinking, I can't do that. But it's like, how could I? Like, I don't know right now, but like, let me think. How could I make 200 calls today? How could I? I mean, I don't know. Like, really? Like, physically, you cannot do that? Really? Like, that's what you're saying? You can't do that? Or is it, you're just, I don't know how. I don't know. I don't even know how to do that. You know how many people we talk to that'll tell us that it takes them like 8 hours to send out 30 messages? Nothing wrong with them. That's a process problem. That is 100% a process problem. So you can do all of these things, but it's just like, just entertain the thought like, oh, how could I? Like, I don't know. How could I? I don't know how I'm going to get a Ferrari 488. I don't know. But I am thinking like, okay, how could I? Like, what's a path? What could I start doing that will kind of lead me in that direction? And I'll get feedback that will tell me if that's the right direction or the wrong direction. Based on that feedback, I can either pivot or lean into it. But I do know I'm going to get it. That's the belief that I have. Every day, tomorrow, it's Christmas. Tomorrow is when I get my Ferrari. And when tomorrow comes, if my Ferrari is not in the garage, then it's like, I wonder why. Maybe like I just need to get better at copywriting. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the reason. Like if I can improve my copywriting skill, then I get my Ferrari 488. Okay, how can I improve my copywriting skill? I can write an ad, a blog, or an email, or a post every single day. And that's exactly what I've done. If you want to see it, happy to show you. So yeah, all right, man, you guys got me hyped about this one. I love these mindset calls because it changed my life so dramatically. And it all stemmed from, I was just open-minded. Like I saw somebody making what I wanted to make. I gave them all the money I had and said, hey man, what do I do? And they said, do this, 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 and this, and this. And at first I was like, that's super weird. Map out my dream life and write down the things that I want and my goals. What a waste of time. No, I need you to show me how to write Facebook ads to bring more calls into my business. And it's like, okay, brush what I thought I knew away. This guy is doing what I want to do. This is what he's telling me to do. Let me try it their way first because I'm not getting success. I'm not where I'm at doing what I thought I should be doing. So let me try it that way and see what happens. And then it's funny how things work out. So awesome. Looks like we've got a question. Appreciate these calls. It's easy to self-doubt. I just got to put up a disclaimer. If we start talking about Santa, I got to definitely put up a disclaimer. That is true. Self-doubt. So confidence usually comes from competence. So if you are doubting that you're the guy to help that person with their problem, then I like real simple. I would make an effort, a concerted effort, maybe to get on 20, 30, 40, 50 free coaching calls with no agenda. I just want to have a conversation with you, see how I can help. If I can't, whatever, if I can, cool, I'll try and help you. Simple as that. From that, you will hear all the same problems. Everybody's got the same problems. They're just worded differently. You'll hear it all in different forms. It's like it's all ice cream. It's all different flavors of ice cream, but you know how to eat the ice cream. You'll be able to do that. Confidence comes from competence. If you do it and with a large enough volume of actions, there's no logical reason why you wouldn't have that competence because you just done so much of it over and 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 over. Then it's like, oh my God, yeah, of course I can do this. Okay, last little tip because we only got 2 minutes here. Last little tip. If there is a version of you in your mind that you want to be, like you want to be more professional, more organized, like fit and like more disciplined and more better spoken, I don't know, whatever it is. If you want to be that person, here's the secret sauce. On a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left side, me now. On the right side, me later, or me then, or actually me now, like current me, I don't, whatever. Then on the right side, list out all the attributes of the person that you want to be. Organized, disciplined, wakes up at 5 a.m. I don't know, drinks 7 gallons of water a day, whatever it is, write everything down. These are all the attributes that I want to have. Now, on the other side, write down the things that you currently have. Now, if there's any overlap, cross them out. So on this side, if you are currently organized, and on this side, the person that you want to be is also organized, cross them out. Then on the side of the person that you want to be, circle one. That is your focus. That's your skill focus for the next 30 days. Just the sheer volume of focusing on it and doing it, you will become it. And then just go down your list. And then, oh my God, all of a sudden, you are the exact person that you wanted to be. If you struggle with that, if you need any help, hit us up, jump in the school group, participate, let us know what you need. I hope this is super helpful, and I hope you have I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. All right, I'll see you later.